Say, man, you're in a privileged position right now. You're in a place to be. Matter of fact, a place to G with the one and only S&OOP. So what you gonna do now? Turn that shit up and let it bang.
Everybody that you fight is not your enemy.
Trenches.
And everybody that helps you is not your friend.
Free time. Nico Trenches, we train
And
online
that's
the
what life
D-line. Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you shoot that 45, keep your nose on the inside. Better punch something, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3 10 and 110, they some real hogs. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws. Good grades, good feet, man, he got it all. I said a crazy he'll snatch something. Real aggressive jump, said he tryna grab something. If the old don't shoot their hands, you better jab some. You better stab some.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why don't you take your pants off?
Get it in.
My balls are hot.
If you ain't watching film, you ain't trying to win. If you close the beat gap, then you gotta spin. If you get around the edge, then you gotta bend. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. Where the lineman at. Where the lineman at. D tackle, do your dance. D ends, do your dance. Center, do your dance. Guard, do your dance. Tackle, do your dance. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at.
Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not going to happen. Tell me it's going to fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, TKB. We are back with another episode, Bushleague Sports, episode 22, coming at you with our Super Bowl recap. It's been a couple weeks. Me and the boys have been away. My kid is coughing in the back. She decided she doesn't want to watch My Little Pony. She's partaking in just chaos in the background of the show. We got a few things on the go. We're trying to go live Twitter space right now. So we're just integrating that Twitter space video. Please, kiddo, not right now. And obviously, just going to be a fun show. We're going to get into all kinds of different sports things and have a little bit of fun. And again, looks like we got a minion terrorizing. I'm going to have to bring sleep up. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Sorry, my kid has just decided that today is the day that she's just barging in on the show.
No worries, man. No worries, dude. Happy to have her. Maybe we can get some hot takes from her on the Super Bowl, maybe the NHL trade deadline coming up, and everything going on in this wide world of sports that we love so much, man. How you been?
I've been good. And yeah, it looks like she's just crawling up on me. Kiddo, I guess you're part of the show. But no, I've been good. It's obviously been a few weeks since we did. We've both been busy doing dad stuff. And it's been fun to get back into it. We're trying to integrate a little live video with the Twitter space too and see how that goes. So we got that running at the same time now. It's going to be fun. Obviously, we haven't really chatted football. We chatted every week throughout the football season and never really got to go in and recap that big game and see how the Swifties are doing. But it'll be fun to get into it with you today. Honey, you want to go play or go watch your little show while Dad hangs out? If I got to talk to her, you should take over. Otherwise, the show this is going to happen today.
No worries, man. No worries, dude. I think the majority of us in our friend group here are parents or are understanding of the fact that we're parents and we do this on the side. We do this for fun, and hopefully it's something we can grow into be a pretty cool thing. But yeah, like you said, man, the Super Bowl 58 was pretty epic, pretty spectacular. Unfortunately, didn't go the way that I was hoping it would go. The 49ers are my preseason pick. I know you picked the Niners against Rippy. Rippy was riding the Chiefs all day long in our last show before the Super Bowl. And Rippy definitely brought that one home. A little Mahomes magic, and I mean,
it was crazy to see. Like, obviously, just a great game. Like another one of those electric Super Bowls. You kind of sometimes wonder, like, is it scripted? Like, how do they get better every year? Like, how does it magically? They're just like, this has never happened in 100 years. It's happening this year, and you're like, man, how? But no, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a couple things we talked about before the game. We talked about it coming down to a field goal, something like that. And it didn't come down to a field goal, but practically, right? You know what I mean? It came down to an overtime scoring touchdown.
the game ended 3 points apart in theory. So yeah.
And we also talked about beforehand, man, what if this game goes to overtime? A Super Bowl hasn't went to overtime in X number of days. And I believe the money, not the money line, but the odds on the on going to overtime was like plus 1,000. So that wasn't a bad bet to take if you took it. But it was overall, it was a great game. It was a great game.
I know you text me that, the plus 1,000 OT. Like, did you bet it or you just text me it?
No, I didn't bet it. I texted you at the time, but we talked about it with Rippy when we were going through kind of some of the crazy bets beforehand. We talked about that one specifically with Rippy on kind of what he thought of it. And what I want to ask you, yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're bad. Okay, so obviously the big thing is like going into that overtime. I think it is a little crazy to see them give Mahomes the ball second. Even Mahomes at the time was like, they want the ball. That's kind of crazy because, I mean, you're going into overtime and a lot of times it's, yeah, okay, go down, finish the game and end it like on that touchdown, right? But I guess in the playoffs, you get a possession no matter what, which is something I don't even know if I necessarily knew. I know like it seemed like the San Francisco players didn't even know that, which is crazy to like go into overtime and not know that. At the same time, it like never happened. So I want to say, did they even elaborate on that rule? I don't even think they said it at the coin toss that was the case, because I feel like they say that even during the coin toss and all of a sudden a couple red lights come on of, hold on, wait a minute, a touchdown doesn't end the game, because that's what they're thinking. Take the ball, go down, get a touchdown, end the game. And that's the way they're thinking it, not realizing even if they got in the end zone, they didn't. They had to settle for 3, right? Basically in the red zone. But even if you get that touchdown, Mahomes is still getting it. I feel like that just like Mahomes was like, what are they doing? You just can't give Mahomes the ball with the game on the line. I don't know. He's just too good. And it was crazy that he pulled it off. I mean, wide open in the end zone in the end, right? And it just perfect dart. I mean, it doesn't even know he catches the game-winning touchdown, really. Is just like so wide open. And it was interesting to see how it all shook out in the end.
Oh my goodness, man. Such a great game. So, I mean, probably one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, just from a
joined in on this space and shouts, buddy. We've been away for a few weeks and we haven't got everything sorted out. So today we were trying to fire back up and make sure we have all our lives and everything going. And then I was going to reach out to you and see if you wanted to come join us as a guest, because it's been like a month since we chatted about it. But you are also welcome to come pop up on stage if you want, and appreciate chatting with you. Skizzo won one of our fantasy football leagues. He was joined in and participated and got the big dub. So I know I sent some stuff out to him, and then I was like, I want to get him on the show because obviously he participated and took home a big dub. But we've been I don't know if you're here at the start, the kids running around like an animal, but we've been a little off the hook for the last month, but we're back, we're buzzing, we're ripping. So feel free to request up and come say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Pulling it back to the game here. Yeah, I don't know if that rule was widely known. I mean, you would hope the players would know, but the rule that you're stating is during the regular season, going into overtime, if the team that receives the ball to start overtime scores a touchdown, the game is over. That team wins the game. However, in the playoffs, that is not the case. And Mahomes, baby, all the way. So there's a lot of talk now that Mahomes has leapfrogged quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and leapfrog quarterbacks like John Elway and Dan Marino and all the great quarterbacks of old to the second and the number 2 QB of all time behind Tom Brady. Do you think that's the case? I'd say there's at least an argument about it, but is that the case?
I mean, is he great? Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's gone to the AFC Championship 6 times in a row. I mean, now he's got 3 Super Bowl wins in a short 6-year career. I mean, that's very impressive. 2 back-to-back now in that situation. I'm not going to put him in second overall myself. I mean, I'm still going to put a guy like Peyton Manning ahead of him and some others. Sure, Peyton has 2 Super Bowls, not 3, but I don't care. I mean, you got a long ways to go and a lot of records to break and a lot of consistency over 10, 15 years for me to see that. I mean, I want to see I want to see Mahomes play without this exact team at some point, without Kels, without that, right? And then we'll start talking, right? Because I mean, you obviously they got something going right now, but will he do it with other players and things like that, right? Where a lot of these guys have proven that yeah they can, and it's them, not just the team. And I gotta wait and see that. Not that I'm saying it's not Mahomes is good, but 6 years in, I'm not putting you at an all-time great. I'm just not yet.
Sure. Yeah. No, I like that argument. I would argue that, yeah, he's had Kels regularly, but I mean, there has been some flow in and out, right? He started with Tyreek. Obviously Tyreek for the first Super Bowl, last two, he has not had Tyreek, and Tyreek is one of the best, if not the best NFL in the last 5-10 years. Best receiver. I don't know if I said
he's got some stuff circling around him. I don't know. There was talks that he broke some model's leg or something, tackling her in the backyard. I don't know how true it is or isn't, but like he's under some I guess legal implications right now. Oh, I see Skizzo requested up. I'm going to bring him up. And for anybody who's here tuning in, if you can hear Sleep and everybody talking, we're live with our show. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, everything right now. And so we're just testing out the video. Sleep wasn't able to come up on the video with us, but he's there. So if you tune into the stream up top, you'll be able to see him on video, but that's where the audio is coming in. But Skizzo, thank you for joining. And again, apologies that we haven't linked up and got that show going, but I didn't want to bring you on for the chaos on the first one back because I knew me and Sleep were going to be trying to sort out a few things. But thanks for popping in this morning and saying hi. How's it going?
Oh, good. Yeah, I have like 2 minutes before we have a meeting, but everything's good. I saw it pop up. I was actually doing a Firefox update, and it said you guys are live. So I'm like, well, shoot, I'll jump in for 5 minutes and see what the heck you guys are talking about. But yeah, it's going good. I saw the live video of some Red Wing stuff. I didn't even know you were a Detroit fan like me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're a Wings homer too, are you? No, I'm more
of a Lions. I like hockey. I can't talk it like some of my buddies, but yeah, I'm a diehard Lions fan.
Nice. And Sleep, can you hear Skizzo coming through in the audio? Can you hear him on your stream end? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that it was coming through that. No, I mean, I've been I originally probably started like every Canadian kid, like a fan of the Leafs, and then I really gravitated toward the Wings when I was like 7-8 years old, and they had like that stacked team of Yzerman and Shanahan and all that, and then they had Osgood, Hasek, and I tell the story quite a bit, but just really fell in love with them. And then around 10 they won the cup, and I've never turned back for 20-30 years. So definitely a big Red Wings fan. But did you get a chance to take in the Super Bowl? You watched the game? You got any thoughts on Mahomes taking home yet another big one?
Yeah, no, I watched it. It was actually probably the only Super Bowl I wasn't looking forward to since my Lions, in my mind, lost and should have won. But yeah, it was. You can never count Mahomes out. I mean, no matter how much time's left on the clock, you know, he just kind of does what Brady used to do. If there's 35 seconds left, there's a good chance they're going to drive down the field and score.
It's always crazy to see that too, right? These guys have 60 minutes, and you never know what you're going to get, but you know that somehow if you give them the ball inside like 45 seconds, they're for sure getting points. And it's like, it's kind of magical.
Yeah, it's exciting. And actually, I heard you guys talk about the overtime rule. I actually didn't know that they changed it. So once it was all over, and then I heard the controversy of the Niners players not even knowing the rules, I was like, what are you talking about? And then I heard what it was. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that it was. But obviously, I don't play football, so I don't need to know the rules. But I would assume the players and the coaches need to know what the rules are. Yeah,
like I didn't know that rule upgrade either. I don't think Sleep did either. But it was like you would hope the people on the field getting paid millions would be dialed in with where that's at.
Right.
But yeah, no, I was cashing. I was.
Just with the Niners somehow coming back and beating the Lions. I typically go for the team that beats my team just because, but I didn't really have a dog in the fight. I was fine if they tied and somehow the game ended with a power outage and they never got to continue.
I know with like the Lions game, I was cashing my checks, and I thought at halftime I was like, I'm such a genius. Like they're so good, they're gonna take home this big win, and I can't believe they blew it. Like you're saying, being a Lions fan, that was a sad moment.
It was sad.
Yeah, it was tough. It was, I heard a lot of people talking. Campbell pretty much goes for fourth down all the time, which he did, but he didn't at the end of the first half to get that field goal. I kind of wish he did on the second one, or the last one, just to tie it. I understood that second fourth down when Reynolds just dropped it, but that last one when there's like, I don't know, a few minutes left and they were down by 3, like just go for the tie and then maybe go back to your aggressive fourth down plan. But yeah, it was tough. I don't know, a few minutes left and they were down.
Sorry, had an audio kick back there for a sec. I was just trying to pull something up.
No, you're good. And then just some of those weird plays, like the bounce off of the defender and that use hands for the touchdown, and then the fumble on the kickoff, and they got like that was just I was like, oh no, this is not the same old Lions, is it?
Yeah, Tyrone and I had a interesting conversation about that because Purdy did have a decent second half, but there was a lot of luck involved. Obviously, I was pulling for the Niners. They were my early season pick to win. However, DKB, you're right. The Ayuk catch off the defender's helmet was pretty spectacular. And then Detroit's offense, essentially the receivers just unable to catch anything. They went from catching everything to the second half, just bricks for hands. And it was just it was a bummer. That's for sure.
Sorry. Yeah. I was just trying to pull the Twitter space up onto our live feed and it's telling me can't present the screen. So that's amazing.
She's back. Hey, I want to ask one quick question to you about the Super Bowl. And I know that,
there's sorry, but you and Skizzo.
Yeah, Skizzo, I wanted to ask you one quick question. I know you got to hop into a meeting here in a second. What did you think of Brock Purdy's performance in the Super Bowl specifically? I know that there was a lot of chat about him beforehand. Is he a fluke? Is he really that good? Does he just have an awesome team around him? What did you think of his performance in the actual game itself? You're muted, Tyrone, and when you're muted, I can't hear Skizzo either.
Meeting with their CEO now, I feel like getting yelled at.
Yeah, Skizzo, man, I lost you there for a time. And keep in mind, we're Bushleague. We're making this up as we go. But Tyrone had his speaker muted there, and I did not hear your response. And I'm not really even sure you heard me. So.
Oh, I think he just left the space. I don't know what was going on. Sorry.
He had to bounce. But hey, no worries, man. All good. But the question I asked him, like kind of over to you, there was a lot of talk about Purdy. Does he just have a great team around him? Is that why he's performing so well? What is your take on his performance in the Super Bowl?
Pretty. I mean, I think he played obviously well. I mean, he had his team in there the whole way. It comes down to just Mahomes crushing it at the end. He played a good game. It's not like he got there and the pressure got to him and he couldn't get anything done or anything. I think it wasn't a perfect game. They left a lot of points on the board quite a few times that they maybe should have got in the end zone and finished a few more things than you wanted. But I mean, it's his second year playing in the NFL. He's in the Super Bowl. I think the kid put on a pretty electric performance, and as much as I give him the gears all year, and I still, again, gets a lot of help by having a great team around him. But he played good. There's nothing I can beat about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think 23 for 38, looking at his stats right now, 255 and a touchdown. Those are decent numbers. I know they had a great opening drive. I think it ended in a turnover, but all in all, I think that the Niners should be pretty stoked about their quarterback for years to come.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up this Twitter space here to see if I can get that up on the screen or not.
No worries.
And so today, anybody who's joining, absolute Bushleague, excuse me, burping yet live, but my kids running around. We're trying to test out a Twitter audio space with this right now. So we're kind of a little all over the place, but Twitter just introduced the video aspect to their live spaces. And really cool, the option of having people be able to come into Twitter space, ask us questions live like Skizzo was. And apologies, I didn't realize when I muted stuff that it was going to, I should have realized, but didn't realize I was just shutting you guys off from communicating. But my kid came in just screaming, and I'm like, oh, that's great content. Let's shut this mute for a second. And that's what we got. So my apologies.
No worries, man. No worries. All good. But speaking of apologies, one thing happened during the Super Bowl that a lot of people didn't like, and a lot of people think that, hey, maybe TKL should apologize to Andy Reid after interjecting in the way he did. You know, the famous photo that's went around now about TKL's in, Andy Reid's face. And TKL's got in his face after, I believe, obviously he was on the bench for a play. And I believe what happened was the tight end that was out there missed a block, and a tackle either resulted in a loss of yardage or a fumble. I can't really remember what actually went down, but it was mainly, the interjection was based on, hey, put me out there, coach, dude. I'm a gamer. I'll play. What was your take on that?
I mean, it's hard to have a take on that. I mean, I've played sports in my life. You get emotional sometimes. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they have like a good relationship. I'm sure Andy Reid has screamed in his face a time or two in his life. They're both adults. I don't know. I mean, if they have an issue with it, they'll sort it out between themselves. And maybe if it's something Andy doesn't like it, don't fucking do that again. But at the end of the day, they're like famous now because of the meme. So it's a win-win for everything, basically. But there's been some pretty funny ones that have came out of it, that's for sure. I've been enjoying some of the different captions put on it. But it's emotions. I mean, I don't know, like, it would be different if you like pushed them and shoved them and it was something rank. It was like, it was a jump bump, fucking in your face, let's fucking go, we're in the Super Bowl. You want that. You want to see that shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I completely agree. These guys are adults. The coaches are adults. They're guys running around that are our age, man. We're adults now, man. They're not kids. Like you said, as a kid, you're not yelling at your coach like that. If you are, you're on the bench. You know, even potentially in college, if you're yelling at your coach like that. However, in the NFL, it's fair game in my mind.
It's somewhat, right? I mean, you got to respect the people in the positions of power and blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure it's a two-way street, right? Like, and if they didn't respect each other, they probably wouldn't be on the same team for the last 6 years playing football and winning at that high level. And there's a little bit of an emotion that comes with being that good and being that involved in a game like that. And I don't know what camera to look at. So I got to get this other one set up better later so that we're kind of looking at the same thing the whole time. Because I feel like if I'm looking at this one, I'm looking down. And if I'm looking at that one, I'm looking up.
Very true. So the whole camera thing on, like, when I watch people, I notice, I'm sorry, I don't notice eye movement. I don't notice what they're looking at. However, I try to be mindful of myself, and every time I like look at you, I'm like, shit, I'm not looking at the camera anymore. I got to look at the camera. So it is kind of difficult, but we'll get it done. We'll get it dialed in. I think that we're getting better. We're definitely.
I just want to look at your pretty face, right? It's so much easier than trying to stare at the little camera. That's boring and just staring into nothingness. But I guess that's what you're supposed to do when you're doing that. I feel like if we were a pre-recorded show, then we should be staring at the camera. But we're live here. You know, it's a little different.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
And one thing too is when you're actually professionals, they have enough cameras set up that no matter where you're looking, they just cut it so that it looks like you're looking at it. But we're not there. We're just low on the totem pole.
No worries.
But yeah, no, it's overall just a really exciting and fun game to watch for sure. Like I said, Mahomes getting it at the end. I was hoping the 49ers would come away victorious and kind of put a slowdown on it or whatever, but Mahomes he's good, man. He's magical.
All in all, it was a great season. I think that, coming through and being here with you for the last 22 episodes, I probably half a year, we missed a few days or a few weeks here and there, half a year. It was a great time, a great experience. I think that we'll get better. We'll improve. We'll dial it in, as one would say. And next year is going to be even better. More days on the mic for both of us, and we'll get some more fun guests as we go.
Yeah, no, for sure. We definitely got to start getting a couple more guests and dialing up that level of it. It'd be fun to have a few more people come banter. I had a lot of fun when Rippy came on, for sure. It was
Oh my gosh, the dude's epic. It's fun. Like the dynamic of a three-way. Ooh, the dynamic of a three-way. The dynamic of three hosts on stage it's kind of fun to find out, like, hey, you and I are kind of going back and forth at each other, and he comes in and he's going to pick a side usually. You know what I mean? If you and I disagree, the third person coming in is going to pick a side, and it's going to be kind of like a 2-on-1 battle. It just makes it more interesting and more fun. And I thought that was great with Rippy. When Rancho was in here, I had to drop pretty quickly, so I didn't get to be on the one with Rancho. But yeah, it was a great experience, man.
Yeah, sorry, my kid's mad. She wants to change the color of the light, and I'm like, no, like, we're live right now. You can't do that. We got to go ahead and not. But no, it was fun. We'll get better and better as we roll and get into a few more things. I know we really want to get into hockey quite a bit too. There's a lot that goes on in NHL and really dial some people in for fantasy. It's about to be fantasy playoffs right away here for anybody playing in the regular season, and then of course we're going to have the NHL playoffs coming in about 6 or 8 weeks, and I would like to maybe set up a fantasy draft for all of us through that. So just see how it all goes.
So the playoff fantasy draft is different than the league. So is it something that you draft every series, or how does that work?
Usually when you do like a playoff hockey draft, no, you draft at the start. You just lose your players as teams get eliminated, right?
Oh, wow. So is one strategy to go all in on a team that you expect to win the cup?
Yeah, it depends.
How you drop. I'm sure you drop players and pick up players as you go, and gotcha.
No, you not when you do those kind of. It's not like a fantasy league where you play like against someone or anything. You're just drafting your players and getting the points they accumulate throughout the playoffs. So it just depends. Different strategies of how you can do it. Whether if you pick the team. If you stack up on a team and they go all the way, that's usually a pretty good option too. But just all depends how you play it. But a lot of it is just really dependent on how you strategize it. Some people just take the best player off a bunch of teams and see how it goes for them, right? But again, I'm sorry, my kid's just screaming. Thursdays in the morning is not a good time to be live, but here we are.
Buddy, it's okay. We can figure it out. We can change it in the future. We can adjust. That's what we'll do. That's what we do. So it'll be all good. No worries.
Do you want to come sit?
No, I don't like.
I love being four.
She doesn't like. What doesn't she like? Tell me what she doesn't like.
The light. She doesn't like the light.
Oh, the light shining on you. I gotcha. What colors do you have, man? Maybe you can look a little pink for a little bit. Who knows?
Maybe. Here, you want me to change the color, honey? Is that going to make you happy? There. You happy now? Okay.
She's happy. Yeah, but let's definitely do that. It'd be fun
all the time when she's around in the shows, and then it comes and switches the light on me. It is what it is. I'll look back on it one day and giggle.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's fun that, whenever you're doing something, they really want to be involved, but when you want to be involved with them, they're like, no, I'm just going to kind of sit over here and do this. So that's just kids, man. That's just kids. But I absolutely want to do a fantasy hockey league for the playoffs. I'd love to be involved in that. And it'll be fun.
Basically just pick under the 16 teams though, and you you strategize yourself, but it's not like I don't ever play like a fantasy league because that's near impossible in playoffs, but you just kind of play an elimination style where it's sometimes guys in the final round have no players, some guys have 8 or 10, and usually the guy with the most players coming near the end rounds is more likely, right? But,
yeah, unless you have Connor McDavid and he just drills them home during the first 2 rounds, doesn't make it past the second round, and still has the most points at the end of the season, or at the end of the playoffs. The dude's insane. One thing that I'm really excited about here is the trade deadline, and something just came through in Dallas, and I want to kind of let you know about it. I don't know if you do know about it, but the trade deadline in Dallas here. I know, man.
You're just gonna have to ignore it because
you're good. You're good, dude. You're at a disco. I love it. So Chris Tanev, defender for Calgary for quite a while, just got traded to Dallas in a 3-way trade. Initially traded over to New Jersey on paper, then to Dallas, and that's exactly what Dallas has needed. A strong stay-at-home defenseman with crazy stats. his plus minus right now is plus 16 on a non-playoff winning team, dude. So, or a non-playoff making team, I guess.
First and a second involved in that deal, and another player.
There was 1 second. There was one, at least coming out of Dallas, there was 1 second. And yes, there was I wouldn't call him a top prospect who went with the deal. And looks like Dallas is only picking up 25% of his contract. So nice. Jim Nill is a spectacular GM. I believe he won GM of the year last year, if I recall correctly. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting season coming down to the end. The Stars have been slumping a little bit, so hopefully this is just kind of the kick in the butt that we need to make a good deep playoff run.
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet. Obviously, they're obviously confident in the team. They're making some moves ahead of it and planning on, I guess, trying to get past the first round or whatever. I know, say my Wings, they're sneaking in there and gonna hopefully do some upsetting in the first round. Kaner and the boys have been starting to come on strong. They're starting to look good, actually, and not just being a Wings fan, but it's nice to see those boys all clicking because Kaner's, obviously a great player, and so is Larkin. So they've been getting good.
Larkin's one of my favorite players in the NHL today. Just a grinder, man. Just
the next jersey on the wall, probably. Larkin with the C.
Just a legend, man. Just a legend. But how about that game? Was it late last week, early this week? Like the storybook written game in Chicago.
Chelios' jersey night and Kaner stealing the show. Hey?
Oh man, Kane scores the overtime winner. It could not be scripted, written, whatever. It couldn't be better than that. I believe that was Kane's first game back at least as a Red Wing, and oh man, just a great story. Sorry for the Chicago fans that they lost that, but Chicago fans were up cheering. I would say that a bunch of Chicago fans didn't book out of the stadium when that happened. Kane's a legend there, just like if Sidney Crosby left Pittsburgh or Ovechkin left Washington, they'd get the same reception coming back.
Yeah, and the guy won 3 or 4 cups, was it?
3, yeah.
And you gotta have a little love for the guy.
Absolutely. So it's definitely interesting. And I'm excited for the playoffs as well. I think right now Detroit's sitting in one of the 2 wild card spots. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. What happens.
Hold on to it. As long as they play decent the rest of the way, they got enough points. They should hold on to it. Rancho joined us up top. How you doing, Rancho, this morning? What's happening, brother?
Yo, what's up, guys? Good to be here. Finally got myself out of the house, so could hop up and talk.
Nice. Well, thanks for popping in, joining us on the Bushleague Sports Show this morning. You got any hot takes? You got any? You dialed in on hockey at all, or any kickbacks to the football we were chatting about earlier?
Just the Golden Knights, man. They're gonna take it again. You guys here in Dallas and Detroit, no chance. Good luck.
Oh, you think so? I like it.
So do I. I haven't been following the Knights much this year. I know that they lead the Pacific, I believe they're still in first in the Pacific Division. The Central Division stacked right now as usual. So we'll see what happens. And in the East, the East is a beast as normal. So Boston, is going to be tough. New York's going to be tough. Those teams that we used to see at the top, Pittsburgh and Washington, are no longer up there. They're Washington's not making the playoffs. Pittsburgh is maybe still on the hunt, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see if they're buyers or sellers. Oh, no worries. One thing I wanted to ask is, do you think Jake Gensel will become available? If we're familiar with Jake Gensel, plays with Crosby, probably one of the best wingers in the league, in my opinion. His contract's coming due. He's like a piece that you would think Pittsburgh would want to keep around, knowing that eventually this old core is moving on. But he's up at the trade deadline, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes somewhere.
Really, he was playing really well like 2 years ago.
Unstoppable 2 years ago, yeah.
Unstoppable, almost the best player on the team. Maybe not as crazy nowadays. You're probably more dialed into what's going on in Pittsburgh than I am. Oh, nice spin chiclet. Shouts to the boys. Shouts to the chicklets. We need to get that chicklets bump, baby. Let's go, Biz. Let's go. We'll come out. We'll have a sandbagger. Me and Sleep will play you guys in some hockey.
Let's do it.
Hockey. That's how Bush League we are. It's golf. We'll play a little golf with you boys. But no, it's I lost my train of thought. My kid's yelling and you're doing your thing, so we probably won't get the chicklets bump because we're just unprofessional as hell.
No worries, man. No worries. It was Jake Gensel. He probably isn't performing as well as he did. Obviously, aging stars on that team, and but him still being one of the top forwards currently on the board for the trade deadline.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a stud. You think you'd want to keep him there? I mean, Crosby, obviously, he's going to be sticking around in the CHL for a few more years. They're going to go out and play for Team Canada in the Olympics, I'm sure, in the next year or two. But, I mean, it just depends what the kid's asking price is. And at some point, Crosby and Malkin have always kind of given a bit of a hometown deal, too, though. So Pittsburgh's always been a bit of a good spot because those guys have never really, taken that $14 million payday or whatever, right? A lot of times they've been around that 7-8 mil, stuff like that. So it's been helpful to the team and allowed them to sign a lot of different players. Allison, could you just go ahead and stop that, please? But it's hopefully he gets to stick around. And again, we're going to get nothing coherent out of me. I just cannot.
You're good, man. You're good. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm not sure. I don't think he'll stay around. The other forwards that we see on the draft board right now are, Vladimir Tarasenko on the draft board. On the trade deadline board would be Vladimir Tarasenko. He's one that has moved the last 2 years, I believe. He, obviously 2 years ago he was in, or maybe it was even last year, he was in St. Louis and then moved up to New York, rental player in New York last season, and then over to Ottawa. So hopefully he can kind of move to a contender. Feel bad for him a little bit. He's a great player, and I'd like to see him get another one. I believe he won a cup with St. Louis when he was down there. So
right on.
Do you want to start wrapping this thing up? I know that we're coming up towards the top of the hour mark.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I can't like it.
Yeah, you're good.
My kid has decided that she's not gonna give me an hour this morning, which is fine. I love her to death. It's absolutely impossible to.
You're good, buddy. You're good.
It's just nonstop lights, and she, as you can tell, yelling and making it hard. So we're definitely gonna have to not do this when she's around in the morning.
No worries. Yeah, we'll brainstorm another time. Hopefully, we can get Rancho in here more. Maybe we'll get a little podcast studio set up for Rancho in his place, and he can come up here and kind of be on here with us regularly. That'll be kind of fun. And, the three of us are going to be together for Shredfest. So anyway, we'll bring this baby in.
I know today's probably, I think, the last day to get in you guys' Discord and get in on the stop for the Free Ride World Tour, right? Or is that closed up?
It actually closed up. So with the Free Ride World Tour, it's very dependent on the weather in the various areas that they are competing at. So what they did for the Free Ride World Tour this time around was that they had to move it up a day. So it's in Georgia, and they moved it up a day. And actually, the event went down this morning, North America, South America time. So the event has already completed. I have not seen the results. I did not watch the live stream, but I'm confident that Rancho G at least got one person on the podium. I believe in you, Rancho. I know that you and Hero were the only ones that didn't have anybody podium yet, but I believe that you probably did this time. Maybe you got a cheat code. Hopefully you got a few and you could bring some points in, but we missed this time around. This was stage 4. So there'll be 2 stages left. This is the last stage before the knockout round. So people will no longer be able to compete. Rancho, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there. But we got 2 more left. And this ends at the end of March, so it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it's going to be a little action-packed month here in March. Pretty much 3 competitions. Well, this one's supposed to be at the beginning, but like you said, moved up. Yeah, it's going to start going quick. And yeah, these are the final 2 stops. So they make cuts down, so it's only the top riders now. Yeah, it should get really interesting. Real fun.
Absolutely. So I'm sure we'll get the next one loaded again. Other notes for Sassy is this week we had Aaron Leibowitz from Elevated Surfcraft in our Discord, giving a little brief on what they're doing with their community and their brand, and looking forward to connecting with them a little bit more in the future. We're going to get some boards to demo, some of those Elevated Surfcraft fancy surf style snowboards. We're going to get some boards to demo at Shredfest. I'm pretty stoked about that. We're going to get Rancho on a snowboard, traditional skier here, but we'll get him on a snowboard, and it'll be an elevated snowboard for sure. So I'll be excited to see that.
Nice. I love it. You guys bringing them out to Shredfest then? You're going to bring out the sticks? We'll give them a rip?
So what we'll do is we'll probably have those out on our free ride day on the 18th, which I need to dial in. I need to start reaching out to resorts and trying to get discounts, but we'll do a free ride day on the 18th where that'll be a great day to work the demos. You pick those up downtown, and probably not for the rail jam. We don't want to jack up the demo boards for them too much. So
right on. No, I love it. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on with the last few stops in the event and who takes home the championship in the Discord there. I know they'll be taking home, I'm pretty sure, one of you guys is Shredding Sassy Social Club memberships, giving people access to all the discounts with all your guys' different partners and Pit Viper and a lot of different shred brands in the industry. So it'd be a big win for some people, keep some money in their pocket for things they're already buying.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're also going to win a Sassy merch pack, which will include a hat, a hoodie, and a t-shirt. So be a good prize for first place. Second place gets a prize as well, and third place. So we'll see. Yours truly right here sitting in second. But I don't know after today. I'll have to look at the results for today to see if I got knocked down. We got Le Joker Mael straight out of France, picking all the French riders and holding that top spot. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. No, that'd be awesome. And again, it'll be fun to get down to Shredfest in Tahoe. Like I said, I think 18th, 19th, 20th. There's some events going on there next month in April, and get together. We'll have a little booth set up at Vail there so that people can come check out some of the Sassy merch and maybe hop on some interviews with us and get involved in that event. There'll be a lot of pro riders and different people out at that. So hopefully it'll be fun to get the Sassy and just the entire shred community together and have a good old time. It should be fun. I know Sickles will be there and a few others. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I love it. We have a group chat going on. Are you in our group chat on X? Did I add you to that group chat?
I don't know. I'm in enough of them, so don't.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no worries. So we got a group chat going on X that kind of breaks that all down for everybody. I get it. I'm in 50 as well. So
nice.
No worries.
I love it. But yeah, and again, apologies to anybody. Just every second week when we do the shows, I got my kid, and most days I can talk her into watching a movie for an hour, and I come downstairs and do my thing. Today she was a full participant in what we were doing, so it kind of made my life a little hard to concentrate because she was yelling. And then we found out early on I cannot mute when she's yelling because it stops the connection between the space and that. So wasn't as fun as I had planned, but we'll dial her in the future. And again, though, I think everything went smooth. We'll figure out a solid way to integrate that Twitter space. I'm fully blocked on Twitter, like not one person seeing that this space was existing throughout the last hour. So that's amazing. Shouts to Elon for the $200.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy how little engagement you get. I don't get it.
Ever since I paid for that premium, I lost my check and they've like shadow banned me. It's super weird because like I was starting to get some traction, right? I've been working really hard at posting constantly and getting content out and doing spaces and blah, blah, blah. And then just seems like it's gone MIA here. So what do you do?
What do you do? We'll figure it out. We'll keep grinding like we always do. And we'll be back next week. Don't know when, don't know how, don't know where, but we'll get that dialed in and make that announcement before the space, before the show, before the live stream. But with that, Tyrone, dude, okay? We good?
Woo.
All right, cool. Gotcha. Yeah. But with that, I'm gonna sign off. And dude, have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. Good luck to the Wings. I hope they do well. I'm hoping the Stars can pull this off. The Golden Knights can suck it. And with that, I'm out.
Love it. Cool. Well, thanks for popping in. Thanks for joining us this week, Sleep. We'll catch you next week, and make sure everybody go check out what they're doing over at Shredding Sassy and Rancho. Thank you for popping into the Twitter space and hanging out with us this morning. I appreciate you. And
yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Always fun hang out with you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna get back to dad mode and go hang out with the little minion and entertain her. Obviously, she wants to run around, have a little fun with dad. So we'll shut down the old show and go into dad mode. The disco is always fun. It seems like it's probably like the fourth time my kids come in and she's just like disco lighting me while I'm live. And so that's the price you pay when your dad try to make it in the old world of the interwebs and doing some entertainment. But again, thank you everybody that tunes in, comes and hangs out with us. We'll be back next week, episode 23, Bushleague Sports, getting into a real deep dive into hockey and some of the stuff going on, some of the hits and people kicking each other in the head with skates and just all the kind of messed up things that are going on there. I want to get into a few of those clips and banter about that a little, and then really dive into really some good strategies to close out the fantasy hockey season and help people, take home some dubs in their league. So again, everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm going to close out the Twitter space as well over here, and we'll catch you next week. So until next time, stay Bush League, you beauties.
From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. Tell them never question, dog, I'm sitting goat status. Eating chicken with my gin, smoking on some cabbage. Used to pedal on this
moment where you skate down the street and some shit for brains yells out of his window, "Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip!"
And house shoes, they know how the dog do. Skinny, heavy pockets, the West OG. Came across the globe, say they don't know me. Been applying pressure from 8 to 24 like Kobe. Mr. Hall of Fame used to bend the corners with Stroley. Had to lay the blueprint, they rolled out the carpet. Anything I wanna own, I got my own market. Blew this, blew that, everything beautiful. Still ain't sold my guns and I still ain't had to use them though. Was once a hard head, now I'm counting blessings. I made my own way, still they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions.
Catch you next week, you